Hello, friends. Welcome to Miss Lynn's Story Corner. Now, yes, now, go ahead. Na 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 na. How's that? That was very good. Thank you for the opening music. You're welcome. Hey, maybe I could do that again. Well, let's let our friends sing with us. Let's do our beginning song. You ready, friends? Oh, yeah. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. We're all in our places with bright smiling faces. And this is the way we start our new day. Oobla lortuck. Oobla lortuck. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, what did you bring? What do you have there? Phyllis, what are you doing? I'm looking very closely. What do you see? Well, I see the threads on your shirt. We're now very close. Oh, I see the cookie crumb that you were eating for lunch and it fell onto your... Oh, yes, thank you. Let me see, what else am I going to see? Up close, I can see. Oh, there's our friends, way up close. Hi, friends. Oh, yes, magnifying glasses help you look at little things up close. Yeah. Hey, what else can I look at? Did you bring anything in your pocket? I like your pockets. Oh, well, let's see. What did I bring in my pocket? Did I bring something to look at? Something I do. Something is down in there. Oh, I brought that. What is it? Oh, it's a car. And it's a car that's so little. Look at that. It's the littlest car I've ever seen. Yep. It's a car that's so little that we call it miniature. Ooh, that's a big word for something so little. Yes, it is. This is a miniature car. Most cars are not that big, are they? So, but these, they're not that small anyway, and this one is so tiny that we call it miniature. Ooh, what else is miniature? Well, I don't know if I brought anything else miniature. I brought, let's see, what else is in this pocket? I have, oh, well, I do have these little scissors. Is that miniature? Well, they're small. How do you know if something's miniature and how do you know if something's small? Well, are scissors usually this big? Are they usually this size, I mean? Well, I guess some of them are. Would you call these miniature? I have to think about that one. Okay, well, while you're thinking, I'm going to set this one down. See if I have anything else in here. How about this? Whoa, a penny? Oh, is a penny miniature? A penny is small. Are pennies usually this size? Oh, yeah, they're usually this size. Usually, so this is not miniature, this is just a small thing. Right, pennies are small things. Okay, put that one down. Let's see, what else did I bring that you could look at through a magnifying glass? It might be, how about a key? Is a key miniature? That looks like every key I have. I don't think so. I think that's just a small key. A small thing. I mean, it's not a miniature. Okay. Let's see what else I have. Oh, I wanted to show you this. Would you say this is small or miniature? That's a chair! Oh! Well, that is very miniature because chairs usually aren't that small. This is a miniature chair, you're right. Just the right size for miniature people. Are there such thing as miniature people? No. In stories there are, and maybe when you play like in the dollhouse. Well, we do have some miniature dolls, Oh, I want to see those too. All right. Well, let me put this down here and see what our basket. I brought a basket of miniature doll. Oh, yeah, look at that. Most of the dolls are bigger than that. Yet remember, these are the ones that I made the clothes for. So there's one. And then she has a sister. They're twins, you see, miniature dolls. They're only about the size of my finger. And here's a very old miniature doll, one that my grandmother played with in her dollhouse. Woo! Ooh, it's very small. And then this is the one I just showed you has a sister too. The miniature doll that my grandmother played with again. And you know what? They had a little miniature pitcher. You see that? For pouring water with. Oh, you have to look at a magnifying glass to see that one. Tiny little pitcher to pour water with. Oh, wow. That is not the size they usually are. That must be miniature because it's so much smaller than what they usually are. Yes, you're right. You'd have to have this tiny little coffee cup. This little miniature cup to pour into. Oh, it's so tiny. I can barely see. I have to look. Whoa, that is miniature. Yes, that is miniature. It's not small. It's so small. It's miniature. Yes, indeed. Most cups are bigger than that. You could have a small cup. But is that a miniature cup? Well, no, I think that's just a small cup. It may be smaller than a lot of cups, but it's still not miniature, right? All right, well, let's see. Miniature and mini. So some people might call it mini. Like this would be a miniature book. Oh, a very miniature book. A mini book. You ever heard the word mini? I think I have. Some people say mini to mean miniature. Hey, it's like mini is the miniature word for miniature. That's pretty good, Phyllis. All right, well, I have a book today that pretends that there would be something called with miniature people. This is called the Rainbabies. And in this book pretends that it's possible to have miniature people about the size of the dollhouse dolls, only just for pretend. All right, this is called The Rainbabies, and it's written by Krauss, Melmed. You ready to listen, Phyllis? I just put that down there in your lap if you don't mind, and I'm ready to listen. Yes. Miniature babies that aren't real because they're pretend, and so it'll be fun to pretend. I want to listen. This is a fairy tale. All right, I'm going to help you get all comfortable, and we will begin as soon as my spectacles are on. The Rainbabies by Krauss Melmed. The illustrator is Jim Lamarche. The Rainbabies. Looks like a peaceful place to live. Now this book has lots of words, so I will read the words and then show you the pictures. One spring night, the couple was tucked in bed, softly snoring. I think I might have skipped a page. Oh, this is the page I meant to start. In a small house in a green meadow lived an old woman and her husband of many years. Food they had plenty, and a good roof over their heads, and the river ran close to their door. But the thing they wanted most was the thing they did not have. They did not have a child to call their own. The days of good, honest work left little time for wishing, but when twilight fell, that means almost night, when twilight fell, the old woman would sit down at her table and sigh. If children grew in flower pots or blew down the chimney with the March wind, what a lucky woman I would be then, because it would be easy to have a child. And here she is wishing away. And there's the old man. He's reading the newspaper while he stirs his tea. Wishing. She looks like she would really like a child. One spring night, the couple was tucked in bed, snoring softly. A broad ribbon of white light slid slowly across the woman's pillow. Her eyes flew open as she sat bolt upright. Though she could hear the steady sound of rain falling on the rooftop, her gaze met the white face of the full moon. Peering round-mouthed through her window, the old woman shook her husband. Wake up, old man. I've heard the moon shower brings good luck to everyone that it touches. The old man rose, grumbling, but he followed his wife outside. Though the shower had all but ended, the last drops of the warm rain touched them, and the old wife smiled and squeezed his hand. Then her eye caught a silvery glint in the meadow grass. Bending down to get a better look, like maybe she needs a magnifying, no, shh. Bending down to get a better look without a magnifying glass, the woman saw what the moon was showing. Nestled amongst the wet blades of grass and the wildflowers were dozens of shimmering drops of water, and each drop of water held a tiny, tiny baby, no bigger than a toe. Ah, there's no such thing as babies that small. Well, in stories there can be. We can pretend things in stories. There they are. They are feeling the warm moonlit rain on them as it falls out of the night sky. And over here they find, nestled in the grass, the babies. Tiny little babies like dollhouse dolls. With the utmost care, the couple gathered up the wee babies and brought them into the house. The woman dried them gently and set them on a soft cloth on top of the kitchen table. Oh, there are 12 perfect little babies all in a row. The old couple smiled and they cooed, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, oh, hello, boo-boo-boo-boo, to the babies, until the babies began to yawn and rub their eyes with their tiny fist. And then the woman wrapped the rain babies in scraps of flannel, which is a soft cloth, and laid them to sleep in the drawer of the dresser. She and her husband were marveling at what had happened to them, and then they went to bed too. There's the picture that's on the cover of this book too, right? Oh, they're so happy. Look at those tiny little babies all moving around. I wonder if they're cold. I think they need some clothes, don't you? Day after day, the old couple cared for the rain babies, and they soon grew used to their new ways. The little infants, that's a word for baby, the infant seemed happier after the sun had gone down, when the sky was overcast with clouds. When they were tired or wanted to be held, they cried out in tinkling voices and reached up with their plump little arms. Then the old man and the old woman soothed the rain babies in the palms of their hands. Oh, it's okay, little baby. And rocked them to sleep in a pair of wooden shoes lined with handkerchiefs. And the old woman would sing songs. By and by, the moon is half a lemon pie. The mice who stole the other half have scattered star crumbs in the sky. By and by, my darling babies, don't you cry. The moon is still above the hill, the soft clouds gathering in the sky. Oh, everybody looks so happy in that picture. The babies in the shoe, see the wooden shoe there? And Mama's rocking the babies too. Oh, peaceful. On warm, hazy days, the old woman and the old man would carry the babies in a willow basket as they went about their chores. One cloudy morning, the family set out with fishing poles in their wooden boat to catch some supper. The woman placed the basket at her feet. The rain babies were soon lulled to sleep by the gentle roll of the river. The old man and woman baited their hooks and dropped their fishing lines into the water. No sooner had their hooks been swallowed by the river than the boat began to pitch. And seized by a powerful current, the boat was drawn into a foaming whirlpool. A mighty wave rose up and over the side of the boat, and before the old man and old woman could stop it, oh, the basket of babies was swept overboard. Oh no. I know those babies are going, where is, I don't know, but it's going, there's the basket, and here comes the wave. Oh. What happened to the peach? Quick, what happened to the babies? Oh, the old man plunged into the river. Round and round he swam, trying to reach that basket of babies. He swam until his heart pounded like a hammer. His limbs, which are his arms and legs, burned as if they were on fire because he was working them so hard, although the water was even cold. Then a faint sound reached him from over the roar of a current. He turned to see the old woman gesturing wildly. The fishing pole! The fishing pole! With a heave, she flung the fishing pole. The old man grabbed it. Reaching out with it, he hooked the basket by the handle, and then he drew the basket to him and lifted it up out of the water. Instantly, the river was calm again, the boat rocking gently. The old man swam back to his wife, handed the basket up to her, and climbed into the boat. Relieved, but wet and exhausted, the old man and old woman hugged each other, and then they rowed home, forgetting all about fishing. They're just so glad the babies are safe. Look, he's reaching, he's falling overboard. He's trying to get the basket of babies right there. Quick, grab them. The fishing pole's waiting. They'll catch the babies with that. Some days later, the wind began to whip around the meadow. The peaches have ripened and should be picked, said the wife. Let us gather some now before the wind does all our work for us and knocks them down off the tree. So the old woman carried the basket of babies to the orchard and set it down in a clearing where the grass was short. The old man climbed a ladder that was leaning against one of the gnarled tree trunks, and he picked a peach. A peach that was so fine, and he handed it carefully down to his wife. It was a perfect peach. Oh, it smells so lovely. Suddenly, the sky deepened to an iron gray, bathing the orchard in a bluish glow. A crash of thunder sounded, and a bolt of lightning struck the ground close to the baby's basket, where the rain babies were sleeping. Flames quickly enclosed the clearing in a perfect ring of fire. The willow basket lay trapped inside that ring of fire, and the rain babies were crying. Oh! The woman tore her apron off of her waist and started beating the flames out with her apron. But as quickly as she beat them out, they rose back up again. Seeing that this was happening, the old man leaped across the barrier of fire, and he seized the basket with the babies. Then he returned through the blaze. As he handed the basket to his wife, a sudden rush of cool rain extinguished the circle of fire, and the rain babies were not hurt. There's the lightning coming down and hitting the ground right by the babies, and the fire starts, and there they are trying to beat the flames out with their aprons and their blankets, and he has the basket. He's going to run through and get the babies to safe. The next day dawned blue. That means the sky was blue. The husband went early to the river to fish, and the wife went back to work in the vegetable garden. Although the wild waters and the fire had made her afraid to take the babies outdoors anymore, she feared more to leave them all alone in the house. So she laid them on a blanket in the shade of a chestnut tree. A passing weasel. Wow, a weasel came by. He saw those silvery pink babies, and he thought maybe they were his own babies, 'cause baby weasels are small and pink too. Oh, a lucky mother to have so many little ones, thought the weasel, and me with no babies at all, with so many babies that they have to take care of. Do you think they'd even miss one? Yeah, so the weasel has a plan. The weasel approached the blanket, sniffing and prodding the babies with his long whiskery snout. But the babies could tell that it was danger. Danger! A weasel! They cried out, and the old woman came running. What? What is it, babies? Clutching a turnip that she had freshly dug out of the earth, she reached the blanket just in time to see the weasel running off with one of the tiny babies dangling from the mouth. So there's the old woman, and she's taking care of the babies, but right over here, what is that? Can you see? The weasel looking at one of these babies. She doesn't notice the weasel, but the baby's crying tells her. The old woman set off after the weasel that had the baby. She took the turnip in her pocket. Round and round the meadow ran the woman and the weasel, over the hill and under the brambles, until the woman's head began to spin with dizziness, and her aching legs told her that they would have to rest soon. Then she remembered she had the turnip in her pocket, and she tossed it over the weasel's head, hitting the ground right in front of the animal. The weasel dropped the little baby and ran off. The old woman snatched up the baby and went back to find the other babies waiting safely in the shade. So there's the old woman throwing the turnip. See that right there? The turnip is a root vegetable that grows in the garden. It's a big round ball-like thing, and it's a vegetable you can eat. And here's the weasel with the baby in its mouth. Oh, luckily the woman got there in time, I think. That night, after a good supper of brown bread and chowder, the old couple sat nodding by the fire. Shadows of kettles and cooking spoons danced along the walls, and the Rainbabies slept soundly in their dresser drawer. A loud knock, 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 roused the old man. As he pulled the door open, a strong blast of cold air and rain rushed into the kitchen, almost sweeping him from his feet. And over the edge of the door stumbled a tall person wrapped in a heavy cloak. The old couple watched open-mouthed as this strange person threw off his hood, and they could see a face of handsome young man, his cap pulled securely over his hair. He strode across the room and placed on the table a basket, woven out of silvery twigs. Its white velvet cover was embroidered with tiny pearls. So here's the babies sleeping in their dresser drawer at night. You see how tiny they are in their drawer, all lined up. That's their bed. And then there was a knock on the door, and who was there? A tall person in the night, bringing something to the old man and old woman. What was it that he brought? The old woman gathered her wits. That meant she started to think clearly. "Who are you?" she asked. "I am a messenger sent by Lady Cour de Clare, a woman of vast and incredible riches," replied the young man. He pulled an object away from his cloak and suspended it between his thumb and forefinger on a chain of spun silver, and it swung slowly in the firelight, a gleaming white jewel the size and shape of a hen's egg. The couple stared at that beautiful thing. "Though my lady is very wealthy and has lots of money in rich and fancy things," continued the messenger, "the one thing she does not have, one thing makes her poor. She has been blessed with no children. She does not have a baby boy or a baby girl. That is what she wants more than anything. Therefore, she offers you this precious jewel called a moonstone. If you would please take this and trade it for the 12 babies for her. Therefore, she will give it to you if you will give her the babies. Give her the babies, and you will live the rest of your days very comfortable and you will be rich, and the moonstone is worth sacks of gold coins." The old woman moved closer to the sleeping rain babies. What do you think she's going to decide? Is she going to decide to give him the babies so that she can have the jewel? What would you decide? "Thank you," she said, "but the babies will stay here with us." The old man put his arm around his wife's shoulder. There they are, looking at the beautiful jewel that the man is dangling from his hand. And even though that jewel will make them happy and rich and comfortable for the rest of their lives, they say, "No, you cannot have the rain babies." "So be it," said the youth, which means the young boy, the young man. He slipped the silver chain over his head, and no sooner had the moonstone touched his chest and became a necklace than the cloak he was wearing and the hat he had on fell away, and instead there was a woman of breathtaking beauty. "My dear old man and woman," she said, "I am Mother Moonshower. On the night of the last full moon, I gave my rain babies to you to take care of." "Oh, my dear old man and woman, what loyal and loving caretakers you have been, taking such good care of those rain babies. You protected them from dangers, from the water and the fire and the earth. You did not even trade them for riches or gold or jewels. You decided to keep the babies instead. You have proven yourself the worthiest of parents. But now I have come to take the rain babies back home with me." "Oh, no, you mustn't take them away from us," the old woman exclaimed. "Please understand," said Mother Moonshower. "The rain babies cannot grow unless they are with me. I will take good care of them as you did, and do not be afraid. I will not leave you lonely. Do you see in this basket what I have brought you?" So first, here's the picture of Mother Moonshadow. She's very beautiful. She has on the necklace, and look at how the old man and the old woman are a little bit frightened because she's kind of glowing, isn't she? In fact, she reminds me very much of the moon and how the moon glows. She beckoned them to the table where the silver basket lay. What do you think's in this? The silver basket was all but forgotten, but now they saw it sitting there on their table, and they lifted the blanket cover over it. Inside the basket lay the most beautiful baby girl that the old man and old woman had ever seen. She had hair like the midnight sky, and she smiled up at them with shining gray eyes. As the man lifted the little girl into his arms, Mother Moonshadow scooped up all the rain babies into the basket. "Wait, one moment," cried the old woman. She bent to the silver basket and she touched her lips carefully to each forehead of each sleeping rain baby. Each one smiled a little bit in its sleep after the kiss. As the woman kissed the last tiny rain baby, Mother Moonshower and the rain babies disappeared out the door. So you can see the new baby that they have been given. There she is looking up with her gray eyes at the old man. And the old woman is saying goodbye to all the little babies. One kiss for each one of them. I think probably Mother Moonshower is their real mother. They're going to go home with their real mother. And this new baby is going to be with the old man and old woman. The couple named their baby girl Raina. Like all children, she brought her parents great joy and a little bit of heartache too, but never such adventures as had befallen the rain babies. Growing stronger and more lovely with each passing year, Raina picked the sweetest peaches from the orchard, and she caught the sleekest fish in the river, and her laughter warmed the old man and old woman's house. Oh, they've caught a fish. I'm glad that the boat stays on the calm water now. Look at that. She's growing up, isn't she? She's not a baby anymore. Some nights when the moon is full and shining, the couple stand by the window and they watch their daughter, arms outstretched, hair floating in the soft breeze, whirling gracefully across the moonlit meadow. And the old couple felt themselves truly lucky, for their happiness was complete. There's Raina, out on a moonlit night, twirling in her nightgown. It must be a warm night, a summer night. Do you see the boat on the river? And look at the moon coming up. It's a beautiful evening, twirling in the moonlight.
Oh, that was such a good story. I really like small things, miniature things.
Me too. I've always liked small and miniature things.
Yeah, so I wonder what else we could find around here that's small and miniature.
Well, I don't know, but you know, friends, I have this tray here, and I have gone around and found small and miniature things around my house. Maybe you could do the same thing. You know, when I found this cup, and I found this book, but I also found small things like the key, and miniature things like this tiny spoon. How many miniature things could you find in your house? How many small things are there? You'll have to decide.
Yep, which is small and which is miniature, or mini, because that's the miniature word for miniature. Isn't that pretty good?
Yes, that is good. I know you liked that from before too. All right, it's time for us to go.
Oh, do you have to sing the go away song?
Well, we do.
Oh, well, it's time to say goodbye. It's time to say goodbye.
What song is this?
Well, I thought we hadn't decided on ones yet, so I've been practicing some. So long, farewell, I'll see you later.
It is time to say goodbye, say goodbye, say goodbye. It is time to say goodbye. We'll see you later. Once more time. It is time to say goodbye, say goodbye, say goodbye. It is time to say goodbye. We'll see you later. Bye, friends.